Did you have the surgery, Anya?
Me?
Yes,
Which one?
the one.
I have never had any surgeries, no, thank you. You?
I had my wisdom teeth removed, and then I had my, what's it called?
Gallbladder?
The blinddarm.
Appendix?
The appendix.
Appendix? Appendage?
Appendices.
Appendicitis?
Hi friends, and welcome to Wives vs. World, where we have fun talking about queer stuff and life as a trans cis lesbian couple. I'm Jackie.
I'm Anya.
We are gonna go through some of the most asked questions that we've ever received
From people in real
from
life.
people in real life, in public, to our faces, just to sort of prepare you for what you might face, but also like to gauge like how do we answer it, what is our take on it, because I think the first couple of times we got these questions, I was kind of stumped.
Yeah, because I think like all trans people know it, those kind of 10 questions that you get every fucking single time someone wants to talk to you about being trans.
First time I got one of these questions, I was like, oh, I better be a good representative, I better answer the question. Whereas now I'm like, that's so none of your business.
I want to say that if you are one of the few people who watch our channel for informational purposes, you might want to ask some of these questions sometimes, and maybe you're like, what's wrong with that? And well, you can learn something then. If my friends ask me questions,
Yes.
or my loved ones or whatever, my friends can ask me whatever the fuck they want,
Sure.
and I enjoy talking about myself and my experiences in this world. And for some reason, it's often strangers who want to ask you these questions.
If you have the emotional distance, you kind of go, I might as well.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like asking Google.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Google's not gonna, make you embarrassed. So why would we? It's because we're human beings.
So let's go through them. Maybe we didn't remember every single question out there, but then you can help us in the comments and how you respond.
And how
to
you
those.
respond, exactly. First question. How did you know? And I'm assuming it's how did you know you were trans? Which is a great question. And depending on who's asking it, I'm more than willing to answer it. If it's like, I'm kind of wondering myself, but like, how did you know? I would say it's something like feeling kind of in between, states of being. Very nebulous answer. I knew I didn't fit into the category I was supposed to fit into, and that's just sort of how I realized I kind of had to transition. That's the short end of it. If you want a much longer version, I have a different video on here that you can watch. If someone asks, and I know they're more coming from a voyeuristic, how did you know, kind of, I'm like, I don't know, how do you know anything?
People don't often ask me how I knew I was gay, because people don't want to know that anymore, because queer people aren't as exotic as trans people anymore.
Trans people are queer people.
Gay sexualities.
Gay!
Gay. So people
True.
don't really care about how did you know you were gay.
No.
But in the rare cases that I have been asked, I'm like, I don't know,
Have you
haven't
seen women?
But I don't know. I haven't thought much about it. I don't have an answer to your question. I just knew it.
A question I get more often is like, when did you know? And usually that's like much more easy for me to answer, because how did you know also, like, there can be so many personal things to it. But when did you know? For me as a trans person, no matter who asked, I'd be like, well, I kind of knew when I was 12. How is your relationship with your parents?
I haven't been asked this question in an inappropriate context, so I'll let you answer this.
It doesn't seem to ever be people coming from like a good place who's asking you this, unless it's like other queer people who are like, I find it difficult to deal with my parents. How do you deal with yours? But usually it comes from a place of like, oh, let me just be Mr. Freud here. Do you have daddy issues? Do you have mommy issues? And it's like, sure do, but that's not really relevant.
If you talk about this question, you do have a kind of complicated relationship with your parents.
Me?
But that's just
Yeah.
not really related to the whole trans thing.
No.
So that's why it's just kind of a really awkward question, and especially from someone that you don't know or you aren't friends with.
Like, what are you looking for here?
Yeah.
For me to say, I'm gonna become the mummy I never had.
Or like, yeah, my parents don't accept me because I'm trans, which is of course
Yeah.
something that happens a lot. But like that isn't the case, and it's
No, and why do you ask?
yeah. Why do you need to know that? I don't know.
Yeah. So usually that one, I would just be like, fine. Relationships, super duper fine. Who cares? Are you gay now? I mean, me? Me? Yes.
You also were before.
I also were. I was more of a bi.
Okay, first off, Dad, I'm bisexual. Yeah, gay.
Now you're more of a les.
Usually that goes with some kind of assumption where, like, if you transition and you find yourself being of the heterosexual persuasion, which happens, then it would be like, so are you gay now? And it's quite funny because, like, if you go from, say, identifying as a gay man to identifying as a straight woman, no, I went from something that looked like a hetero kind of orientation in life to something that is much more of a gay one. But like, have you seen my, like, I was like,
You weren't born to be a straight man. And I think, like, when this question is directed at me, it's like, oh, so now so does that mean you're lesbian now? Like, since your partner switched genders? And then I'm like, how dare you assume I was straight before? Nothing straight about
no,
me, honey.
before it was just like,
I dabbled in the human form.
one could say. And then you fell in love with me and you're like, something's not right here.
I've always liked them a little bendy, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't. This whole thing has nothing to do with my sexuality.
No.
I like them.
You like
So that's what I usually say. Like she switched the gender, but that doesn't have anything to do with me, you know. I've always
You're just
liked
here for the
whatever.
ride.
Yeah.
Isn't that just being straight with extra steps?
Oh, this is one that I hadn't heard before YouTube, but
No.
we've been asked this a lot, or told this, or accused
Yeah.
of this a lot
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Like some kind of gotcha moment or something.
No, sorry, but I
Or-
don't get it.
They are saying, well, you are still a woman and I am still a man, so therefore we are straight, and then I'm just doing more stuff but it's still being straight. Basically, they're saying, nah.
Yeah, I get that one, but I don't understand how it's because like if I,
Yeah,
for
if,
example, were a trans man,
Yes.
then I would understand being straight with a few extra steps. Because like that seems
I mean, yes.
like a lot of steps to be straight.
But that would be extremely true and extremely funny. But it's
yes.
because they don't acknowledge me.
Oh, wait. Okay, so they. Sorry, I'm trying to understand. I thought I got this one, but now I'm thinking about it. I don't think it makes sense. Yeah, okay. You're not lesbians. You're just straight with
Yeah.
a few extra steps.
Exactly.
But the steps kind of means that we're not straight anymore. So that I don't know.
So the answer to this one would be,
No.
it doesn't make any sense. What are you talking
Yes.
about?
Also, stop calling me straight. You know, I take offense.
Did you have the surgery, Anya?
Me?
Yes,
Which one?
the one.
I have never had any surgeries. No, thank you. You?
My tongue-in-cheek answer would be, I had my appendix removed, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. It is one of the questions that I would have answered when I just came out, because I felt, well, honesty is the best way to go about everything. But as I get older and as I'm developing more and more brain cells, I'm thinking to myself, why does the stranger need that kind of information? Like, what are you gonna do with it? Why do you need it?
Also, I think most trans people recognize this as the most asked question when you talk to people about being trans. They just really want to know. I don't know, man. It's a weird fucking thing to ask a stranger, just like in any case.
It's like, in order to humanize you, I must know how you look between your legs. So, question is irrelevant. Answer, it's dumb. Don't ask me. Don't ask anyone.
I'm not comfortable telling you this information, and I don't want to talk about it. You know, you're allowed to say that, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of trans people, they get uncomfortable at this question, but they still answer it. Or
Yeah.
something. But you don't have to.
You don't have
you
to
can just
answer.
say whatever people say to you, you can always say, you know what, I don't want to talk about this. You're allowed to.
Are your boobs real?
Mine?
Are your boobs real?
These babies, these are babies. No,
These are
wait, ask me
babies.
again.
Are your boobs real?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Why the hesitation?
Am I hesitating?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking whether I think you're qualified to know this information or not.
Oh, perfect. When is that when we've been together for 20 years?
Maybe.
I will know. I will maybe be allowed in.
Maybe BB.
Maybe BB. But I guess usually that question is for me. Funnily enough, that is one of the questions where I'm like, I don't really mind answering because yes, they are. I'm oddly proud of them.
Can I just interject?
Yes,
Silicone boobs are real boobs too.
I agree.
They exist, they are real. But what they want to know is whether you grew them
Whether
or
they're
whether
homegrown,
they are
organic.
inserted.
Did I have help?
But you had help either way.
I had help. Everyone has help either way.
Do they?
Yeah, from little hormone.
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 Pinworms.
And I guess usually I get this question from other trans women who are like pretty early in their transition, and they're like, what can I expect? And it's like, it's playing the lottery, and it's about genetics, and it's about a lot of things.
How did you get a D cup? Am I right?
It's an E-cup.
Oh.
And I was lucky because the women in my family have big tits, and that helped me personally.
And also you've been on hormones for like more than a decade.
Oh yeah, that's also something. But some people will not experience that, and they may have to, get silicone or
They don't
whatever.
have to do anything.
They may, is what I'm saying.
They may not have to. They may want to.
They may have to if they want to.
I am just being very correct, Jackie.
Well, cancel me, I guess. It's like the third video in a row where
I'm sorry.
joke.
But you want to talk about your boobs.
I want
and
to
you
talk
can
about
be
my
allowed
boobs.
to.
Because
you want
I really like
talk.
to talk about my boobs.
Yes.
Why is no one asking me about my boobs?
Is why do they all want to know the downstairs when
Yeah.
you have the upstairs to talk about?
Exactly. Oh, here's a good one. How do you have sex?
Yes.
It's
I
like-
remember vividly.
First question you got when you started university.
There was some guy in my class or the other class or whatever who I was riding the metro home with, and I hadn't talked to this guy at all evening. I like barely knew who he was. And the first thing he fucking says to me is like, "Oh, you're dating Jackie, right? Isn't she trans?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she is." So I don't remember.
That was
But,
the first question, yeah.
and then he's like, "Yeah, so how do you two have sex?" And I'm just like, "What the fuck, dude?" So what I answered in that scenario was, I don't think we know each other well enough for me to answer that question. That's a little weird.
What was he like? How was his reaction?
He was just like, "Yeah, oh yeah, okay." And I've been asked a few times by various people. And
I've been asked by friends, by strangers, by people doing interviews.
yeah,
Like,
that's the weird one. I get that they also they want to dig into stuff, but it's still just a weird fucking thing to discuss in an interview that doesn't really have anything to do with sex.
when we got married, we had this camera crew from somewhere, and they wanted to do a small documentary thing. And I keep thinking, if they did that for like a straight couple, one of the focal points would not be, so how do you fuck? The thing that was interesting about our wedding was not the kind of freaky sex we had afterwards. Thank you very much. It was just
slept.
Yeah, we slept a lot.
slept.
I went to bed before everyone else. I was like, yeah, I know we're still having a party, but I'm so tired. Good
There
night.
was no sex involved.
Nope.
Our now wedding night.
No, none
Tired.
whatsoever.
Tired as fuck.
So how do you have sex? Didn't.
We were engaged for 9 years before getting
And we've
married.
had sex twice, and we have 2 kids.
These are cats. I want to read. What was my point? I have a point. Also, I do like talking about sex a lot with my friends and
Yes.
intimates, but you don't like getting talked about. So you
I
would
like-
rather that I keep you out of me discussing sex.
I'm like, very okay with it. Sounds like I'm not.
It sure sounds like you're not.
Where's your food?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm kind of getting warm over here. I'm a bit nervous when it comes to sex. I'm very inexperienced, very shy, very cute, very innocent, very virginal.
We've been together for 16 years, baby.
I love talking about sex. I don't
don't think so.
And yeah,
Okay.
I just don't like talking about me having sex.
Oh, that's true. I love
Thank
talking
you.
about me having sex.
I know you do.
Not that anyone wants to listen, but
It's like, hey, you there, come back.
hey, we just met. Let me tell you about my sex life. No, but am I not right? You would rather that I don't talk about how we have sex with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, specifics, but don't get into specifics, you know? That's kind of
though?
embarrassing, but like you can...
Okay, we should make a video about this.
yeah.
Why are you so... Why
Why
do
am I
you have
such a prude?
Yeah.
Why do I have a problem? Because...
Why do you hate women?
I feel... Oh,
Sorry, keep going. Well, I think...
misogyny!
I think there's a lot to say about your relationship to sex because
Yes.
of the whole trans thing.
I think so too.
So I think that would be interesting to discuss further.
Yeah, let's talk about my sex life, even though we specifically say we don't want to. I'm gonna say shame is a big part of it.
Yes.
And being labeled a pervert.
At this predator...
Predator.
Yes.
Yes, like...
Yeah. I like it when you do that, though.
No,
Sorry, what was the question and what was our answer?
never
Don't
mind.
ask me that if you don't know me very well. And even then, I have been told by my wife that I should not discuss this. So this is a question that is off limits to civilians. Thank you and please.
What if you regret it? Transitioning.
That's for you.
Yes.
I regret plenty of things, but it has nothing to do with you.
No, I'm happy about that. And I mean, it's a really, I think it comes from a place of like being concerned, like, oh, but what if you regret it? This is a big decision. I can appreciate it for what it is. But when you've gotten that question a couple of 100 times, it starts being really annoying and it starts kind of like revealing what it might actually be, which is some kind of tool to, you know, make sure, could you conform, please?
It also feels like a bit like, do you think I'm a fucking idiot?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Do you think I'm not able to make decisions for myself in my own life? And I think also trans men especially maybe are faced with this question because of the whole infantilization of AFAB people.
Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah.
And the whole, oh, but what if you want to be a mother someday?
Exactly. Like trans men are assumed to be tiny children and trans women are assumed to be huge predators.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know. It's just, I think this is a stupid fucking question. It makes me kind of angry. No, sorry, what? So what's your answer for this?
I mean, you could regret any number of things. Like, if it comes from a place of like genuine concern, I'm gonna, you know, be forthcoming and honest and be like, well, I don't know, but I don't think it's a good enough reason to not do something that I might potentially regret it at some point in the future, you know?
Why would people ask you that?
I don't know.
Maybe it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I just think people have a little.
But I think you usually get it when you're quite early in your transition. People will be like, are you sure? And it can come from a good place, or it can come from a, like, really think about this. Do you want to do this? It feels like a thing where if you're not 100% certain and you never want to do anything but this, you shouldn't be doing it. And that's how you get, oh, we should make a video about this.
I know, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
But
I
it's
can
where
hear
you
it.
get to stuff where it's like you dig your heels in so far because you have to be so sure. You just like, you couldn't just go into your doctor and be like,
I'm questioning.
Yeah,
you
know,
have
I'm-
to like commit 1,000%.
you have to be like,
and
yeah.
Then you're like, you never get to explore your doubts about it.
No,
I
exactly,
see.
and it's
I get
very,
it.
very valid to explore your doubts. But
Yeah,
if
obviously.
you do that to a psychologist or to like a gender clinic, they will see that as a, oh, there is
any help at
there is a
all.
little inkling of doubt, you know. You shouldn't do it.
Also, you can never be 100% sure of anything
No.
you do in your fucking life, okay?
Anya,
Yeah. This
how
is probably,
did you react?
This is probably the one I've been asked the most, I feel like. Then when people learn you're trans, they're like, oh, but how did you take it? How did you react? And every time I have to really like think, how the fuck
How did you react?
Yeah. Because again, we've talked about extensively on this channel how we didn't have this big like coming out moment where everything changed from one thing to another. We sat down and you told me, honey, I have something to tell you.
I'm a woman.
Yeah. We never had that.
No.
It was a thing that happened over time, a lot of little hints, stuff like that, until it finally like clicked for me before you had really confessed.
Confess! And you're like, oh, you're gay. Oh.
yeah. You're like, oh, you want the whole.
Oh, you want the whole.
You want the whole.
What?
I see.
Is that a rake?
Why would it be a rake? Why? How's this a rake? Anyone? It's the vaginal canal.
Like a balloon animal.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me if you got that, or if you thought it was a rake. What are we talking about? Oh, you want the whole. You want the whole.
Yeah. How did you react?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question because I didn't really react. I listened to what you said and I considered it and I was like, okay, what can we do about that? And I don't know, I took it in, I conversed with you.
You conversed?
I didn't really have a pin drop moment where I was like, oh, now everything makes sense and my whole view of life has changed. It was just, I just lived my life, you know?
Mm.
So I don't have an answer to that question, and I try to tell people that, and I've been asked this in interviews many times, and every time they're just not satisfied with this answer.
But you must have felt some kind of betrayal or anger or something.
Yeah, or confusion or something.
Sadness, like loss, like mourning, like sorrow.
Do you remember anything? How did I react?
No, I remember I was scared as shit. And I was like, and you're just like, yeah, it's fine.
Like I was trying to help you, trying to figure out how we navigate this, whatever it was, that we didn't really have the words for back then in 2008. I didn't react much.
No.
And if it's people who make me angry or strangers, I'm like, shut the fuck up and go away. I will be confrontational very quickly here with this. I draw my sword.
Oh, wasn't it difficult?
Yeah, wasn't it difficult to stay with you? How did you figure it out? Blah, 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 all that stuff.
I think mostly it's because I'm very monstrous and like...
You're a big predator. No, I don't know.
And you never get to see my bottom half, but that's because I'm like a millipede and I go all around the room and I'm like kind of scary, you know?
You are...
have you seen...
Savage?
Have you seen... Savage?
Is it the Darth Savage?
No, it's Darth Maul who has the spider buddy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Darth Maul.
Was he the one you were going to reference?
No, I was gonna go like, have you seen Dungeon Meshi?
I
Have you seen Dungeon Meshi? So there's a red dragon somewhere underneath here.
Can anyone explain to me why lesbians are so into this weird chimera thing?
It's like if you get it, you get it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not lesbian enough for this to understand this.
No. You're straight with a few more steps.
Usually this question just perplexes me. I don't have an answer because I never thought about it like that. It was not difficult. That's what I'm saying. I love her. If you loved your partner, that's what I'm usually going for. I get very confrontational about this.
Yeah. You'll fight a person.
When people are like, wasn't it so hard? Wasn't it so difficult?
Wasn't it so difficult?
Like,
you're so brave.
What the fuck are you insinuating? Like,
you're so brave for staying with that freak.
Exactly. That's what I'm hearing, and it gets me angry.
Do you hate men? Do you?
Kind of sometimes.
I mean, usually when you get that question, it comes from a man. The answer is much more complicated. Do we hate men?
No,
of course not.
We don't.
We love men.
Yeah.
See last video or the video before that.
Especially in lingerie.
Oh.
Hey, if you're a man if you're a man,
if you're a man,
text me.
I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
No, we don't hate men. Of course we don't hate men.
Send me lingerie dick pics.
And yeah, that's not what I meant.
Sorry. We don't hate men. That's it. That's the question. That's
the answer. Yeah. Nothing needs to qualify this. Of course we don't hate men. Get over yourself. Couldn't you just be a feminine man?
Oh,
that's for you. But like...
The gods smited me when they didn't give me a penis.
Yes, they sure... Oh, wow. I've gotten that a couple of times. And it's...
Couldn't you be happy just living as a man?
It's
just,
like,
right,
why do you have to be so... Yeah. isn't kind of anti-feminist that you are, you know, being feminine and then you think that means you have to be like a woman who has to be very feminine and stuff? Can you just be a man and be subversive? And it's like, if I were a man, if I felt like I were a man, sure.
People who ask this question just really don't get it.
No.
Like, this is one of the things that, like, if you are so far into that mindset of gender
Essentialism.
whatever, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
you will not understand this. This is a feeling within yourself that cannot necessarily be
Explained away by
or
Bruce.
quantified or
No.
measured. But you out there, you will get this.
You will get it,
You will
'cause-
know
yeah.
that feeling that just says this is right for you, or you feel like this. And maybe if the world was a sandwich and everything was different, maybe, sure, you
What
could
if-
be a
what- yeah.
man. What if my grandma was a bike, you know?
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. What the hell is, you know, it doesn't make any sense what you said.
But it's like, you know, and
But this
I
is
think
the reality we live
we've
in.
discussed this before, right? There is a huge asterisk behind the woman part. Like I'm a cosmic being who in the current day and age, it fits me much better to say, well, I am aligned womanly more
That's how
than
you want to be perceived and
Yeah.
treated in society, and that's how you rest in yourself.
Yeah. Does it mean I like misogyny? Does it mean I like being belittled or assumed to be an idiot?
In bed? Oh yeah.
Yep. That's not like, it's not like I have some kind of like degradation fetish and it makes me so happy to be seen as a lesser life form. Of course not. But there is something inherently more me being woman than being man. And that's kind of, that's all I can say. What kind of genitals do you have?
See, no one has ever asked me this question, and I'm a little offended.
Yeah, I think we've covered this before. Like I usually get the question, and I'm notorious about not wanting to talk about my genitals. No one's asking you about your genitals.
And I don't want to talk about anything else.
No, so like get on it. Come on.
What did you say to?
I said, would you ask
yeah.
your mom? And he was like, I know what my mom has. I was like, okay, weirdo. And then I was like, would you ask your, like, the teller in the bank? Like, what he said, the person who interviewed me that one time was, of course I would. I don't mind. Yeah, you fucking wouldn't. What are you talking about? Why would you ask some random person this random question that has no bearing on whatever you're doing? In this specific case, I was talking about playing a transgender person in a mini-series for TV. And
Yeah, you were talking about an acting
I
role.
was talking about me as an actor. And he wanted to talk with me about my sex life and my genitals. And it was like, it was so weird. I was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, like sure you could ask this,
You
but
could.
it would still be weird.
Yeah,
like,
don't-
don't be an idiot. Don't kid yourself. You know, like when people ask this question, I think it's a good idea to make them think about what
How
they're
dumb.
asking.
Yeah.
because it is a weird question to ask someone.
I'm sorry, I'm married. Like, thank you for the interest, but no, thank you.
Yeah,
You
and
can-
y'all out there, you also don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. But if
you
you
can
have
if you
a
wanna.
new
Last question. Can I support your channel?
Oh,
and
what a
it's
great
it's a
question.
really great question because you can spread the word. You can subscribe if you aren't already. YouTube just asked us, but they said you can make a membership thing open for people, and it just wouldn't shut up about it. So now I've enabled it. You don't have to, but you can.
If you want to be a part of the YouTube member thing, we will try to be like more engaging with that and give you perks and talk to you and
Watch stuff in advance. Maybe have more of a say in the kind of videos we do make.
some polls, questions,
Some polls.
some polls.
Whatever you want. Maybe also make some requests from time to time.
Yeah.
That is a bit maybe outside of our wheelhouse.
Absolutely, and we will do it for you.
Yeah.
For
so
just a couple of dollars a month.
we're very cheap. Also, I want to say thank you for like all the subscriptions we've gotten, all the followers,
Yes,
followers
button
who have, like from the button test to now, 2 weeks later, we have grown with like, I think 12% or something.
Oh wow!
Like an extreme amount of people. And thank you so much. It's been really invigorating. It's definitely something that makes us want to do more. So it's thanks to you, a lot of you, that we are now trying to really sink our teeth into this again.
And also because you're not like actively
Also because I'm not
dying.
actively dying from a job I don't like.
We're slowly getting our heads above water.
Yeah. Which brings me to my next point.
Yes.
Usually we have said we upload sometimes, or we've said we upload once a week. We are gonna try to upload twice a month. It is gonna be a bit inconsistent, but it feels like a much more realistic release schedule. So once
Every other Friday.
or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Guess that's it.
Yeah. We hope you liked this video, and if you did, you can subscribe for more.
It's true.
There's gonna be some time between videos. If you don't know what to do with yourself, if you're missing us, if you're like, I can't wait to see Anya's beautiful face, you can find it on Instagram. You can find it maybe on TikTok, and you can read her book. You can get a tattoo by me, and you can check back in a couple of weeks. And I guess that's it. We hope you had fun, and we hope you will take care, and we will see you next time. Bye.